Welcome, everybody, back to the first edition of the 2022 NFL Sports Talk with Fred and Troy. We are back. We're so excited. We have a full slate of games, week one right here, and we could not be more excited because football is back. The fall weather's coming, and we got some beautiful week one games that we cannot wait to break down with you guys. Troy, how we doing?
Dude, I am doing so stinking good. I am just so fired up. A, that football season is back, and B, that I get to see your beautiful face once a week, and we get to talk about the most dominant league in the world right now, the NFL. Dominates in ratings, dominates in just everything, every statistical category when it comes to television. So I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to talk all about it. Per usual, we will go through weekly matchups. We keep a record of our predictions and whatnot. We also have an upset of the week and a game of the week. And then at the end of our slates, we will do a fantasy football breakout head-to-head competition where we choose one random weirdo that we select and we go head-to-head. And whoever scores the most fantasy points, we keep it to running backs and wide receivers. By the way, we don't want, or tight end if you want to feel really, really weird. But we do like a flex position. But nonetheless, let's dive right in. Thursday night football, the Super Bowl, defending Super Bowl champs, the Los Angeles Rams go head-to-head versus the Bills. The Bills are the easy favorites right now to win the Super Bowl, coming off of their, I don't want to say disappointing end of their season, but for some, it was very, very disappointing the way that game ended. Nonetheless, Fred, Bills, Rams, what's your expectations?
Dude, it's going to be a heck of a game. Just starting out hot for this NFL season, which I think is going to be one of the best NFL seasons in the history of the National Football League. Ooh. We got the defending Super Bowl champs, and everybody's saying the best quarterback in the league is Josh Allen. I am going to go with the Rams here. I think they come off the Super Bowl high, just keeping it rolling. They got better. Allen Robinson was a heck of an addition to that offense. I think Matthew Stafford just tears it up again. I do think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a fist fight, but it's in LA. I like it. SoFi Stadium, super cool. Going with the Rams.
Did you know that the Rams are underdogs?
Yeah, I see that. Bills are 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, the Bills are 2.5-point favorite. They opened as an underdog, so the line has swung in the Bills' favor. I'm going to go Bills. I'm going to zig when you're zagging here. I just think the Bills, they have so much to prove this year. Like literally so much to prove. Now, could the pressure be too much? Could we see them maybe fold week one? Maybe. We're gonna find out who they are as they are thrown to the fire. I just think that the Rams probably get out to a slower start. I think we'll see Stafford. Stafford's not prone to mistakes. I think we'll see him try to force the ball into a pretty tough situation, trying to make a big play for the big crowd that's going to be on hand. And I could see that coming back to bite him. Bills win, in my opinion. Moving on to the Sunday slate, 9/11. Rest in peace to all the beautiful souls that we lost on that terrible day. But nonetheless, a full slate of football for you to take your mind off of it. Saints and Falcons, Fred. Who you got?
Saints are tough, man. I don't know what famous Jameis is going to do, man.
Is he even healthy?
Who knows what's going to happen with New Orleans? They got a lot of weapons. I really like Chris Olave. I think he's going to be an absolute X factor for them. Hopefully Michael Thomas can come back. If him and Olave play next to each other, I think it's going to be a great offense along with Alvin Kamara. But I'm actually going to go with, it's not my upset of the week, but I am actually going to take Atlanta at home. Atlanta, I know they have a lot of question marks around. I'm a huge Kyle Pitts guy. I think Cordell Patterson builds off even last year. He's a veteran running back who kind of broke out late in his career. And I think they're just a weird kind of just sneaky team in my opinion. I think they beat the Saints at home.
Yeah, I can't believe it. We're disagreeing back to back. I'm going with the Saints. Anybody that's listened to anything, I have said how the Saints are my sneakiest team in this year. I have money on them to win their division. I have money on them to make the playoffs. Like I really am all in on this Saints team. I just think their weapons are incredible. When you look at Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and, even Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram's still there kicking it. So if Winston is healthy and playing really, really well, I have no reason not to believe that this offense is going to be an absolute issue. Not to mention Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger on the other side. They've done a really good job fortifying their secondary. making good signings. They still got Cam Jordan on that side of the ball. They have a really good defense as well. One of the more experienced groups in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going to rock with the Saints getting the road win. So moving on, the Browns and the Panthers. I don't know if this week is just rivalry / like revenge week or what in the NFL, but we got like the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals. We got the Vikings and the Packers. We got the Browns and the Panthers. Fred, dive into this one. Baker Mayfield against his former team, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I'm going. This is my game of the week.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. I like Baker. I think Baker Mayfield's super cool. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's a talented football player, and I'm excited to see what he does in a different system. I know he kind of got traded late, so he's really learning this playbook. But I like Matt Rule, aka Pastor Steve. But I really like Carolina's team. I hope CMC's healthy. I really am a huge fan of DJ Moore. I think he's a very underrated receiver. And so that's why I'm going to take the Panthers. I think the Browns are good. They just don't have their QB1. And good. I'm glad they don't have him. I hope he should never play another down of football, but, slap on the wrist, 11 games, good for him. But we're going to see Jacoby Brissett. He's a quality quarterback. It's going to be Nick Chubb. And I think Carolina's defense is built for it, man. So Brian Burns, big fan of him coming off the edge. So I'm going to go with the Panthers here, man, in my game of the week.
I was about to say, I think everybody kind of lets the focus go to the offensive ball with AMC, with Baker, all that drama. But, dude, their defense is nuts. They are fast. Yeah. They are
Jeremy
young.
Chin.
Yeah, they are explosive across that side of the ball. They're incredible.
And J.C. Horn was hurt all last year, their first-round pick from a year ago. So I'm excited to see what he does on them.
Yeah, they have another good corner that I love. I don't know if his name's Dante Foreman or Dante Jackson or something along those lines.
Dante Jackson.
Yeah, Dante Jackson. He is incredible as well. They have a really strong secondary, really, really young. I love this team. I really do. I think the Panthers are a sneaky team. I've never been a Baker guy. I'm a TCU Horned Frog fan. He absolutely dominated the Big 12, and he was just an arrogant guy. You just could root against him. Then he went to Cleveland, so it's easy to root against. But this Baker stuff with Cleveland has made me almost like the guy. I feel bad for him. The situation's just so bad. It was handled so poorly. So I want him to dominate this game, and I think he will. I think we'll see a vintage Baker game. Moving on, probably one of the more boring games on the slate, in my opinion. 49ers on the road to play Chicago. Trey Lance's, I guess, I don't know if it's a starting debut, but his first full season potentially, I guess, with the Jimmy Garoppolo re-signing, retooling, whatever you want to call that, revamping his contract. But Fred, what do you got for the youngin on the road to play yet another youngin, Justin Fields?
I think Chicago's going to be the worst team in the league this year. They just don't have a lot going for them. Their best player, two of their best players already requested a trade, Roquan Smith and the offensive lineman that's losing my head, the young offensive lineman. But I think San Francisco is going to be not as good as people think because I'm not really too sold on Trey Lance just yet. Of course, they have Deebo Samuel. They have the offensive scheme that Kyle Shanahan brings. But so I'm going to go with San Francisco just because I think Chicago is just going to be really, really bad this year. Justin Fields doesn't really have anybody to throw to outside of Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet. Not too big on David Montgomery, but just nothing to be excited about if you're a Bears fan.
Yeah.
And
seriously,
I just trust. I think 49ers are going to put up a lot of points against them.
Yeah, the 49ers have had all summer to prepare for this game, and that is not good for the Bears, no matter what way you slice it. You've already alluded to it, Tevin Jenkins. He requested a trade. They don't have an offensive line, really, that's worth a rip.
Nope.
And Justin Fields going to be running for his life because the 49er boys don't play. That defensive core is absolutely insane, and they're really, really well coached. So, yeah, I think 49ers roll. I think this is just an ugly week one for the Bears. People are excited off Justin Fields preseason, and rightfully so. He's going to be a good quarterback, but just know the 49ers are coming. So moving on to a personal game for both me and Fred, the Steelers travel to Cincinnati to play the defending, reigning AFC champions, the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go ahead and steal this one. I think the Bengals get the job done in week one this year. I just think that the Steelers have too many question marks when it comes, into this game. Is TJ Watt even healthy? Did he get hurt seriously in that last preseason game? Is Deontay Johnson, is he okay? This is a pretty big year for him, I'm pretty sure. Isn't it his contract year or close to it? Okay, good. I did not catch that. So good for Johnson and the Steelers. But is it Mitchell Trubisky? I mean, Mike Tomlin obviously isn't comfortable enough to come out and say one way or the other. So there's just a lot of questions. And whenever you have a question mark at your quarterback spot, it just never leads to really good things, as me and Fred know all too well. But yeah, the Steelers, they just have a lot of questions. They're aging on the defensive side of the ball, to say it lightly. And the Bengals, I think, have just gotten better and better this offseason. And it's a big game. It's a big game. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, I mean, as a Steelers fan, I'm happy we fortified our offensive line. We went out and got some James Daniel, Mason Cole, guys like that. So I feel like we've done a good job. And I think a quarter four is going to be great. As a tackle, I thought out of everyone who played offensive line last year, how bad it was, he was definitely the bright spot. I think Trubisky gets to start. He looked great in preseason. I mean, Kenny and Mason both look great as well, but I think Trubisky is going to get that job. And I think he's going to do a great job, but I do think it's going to take him a while. Defense side of the ball, we got Miles Jack. I thought was a huge signing because especially with Devin Bush not really being there. Levi Wallace, thought was a great sign for the secondary. Cam Sutton is going to take another step forward. You got Minka, you got TJ, we'll see. I'm really excited. I'm higher on the Steelers than a lot of people, just probably because I'm a diehard fan. But I mean, if you look at it logically, I mean, we have a good roster. It's just who's going to play quarterback. I think George Pickens is going to be an absolute stud. And of course, you got Najee Harris. So, but I do go with Cincinnati here. I think Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, you got a top 5 quarterback. You got Jamar Chase, arguably a top 5 receiver already. Joe Mixon's a top 5 running back. You got a great defense. I mean,
it's a tough thing for the Steelers, their week 1 game to be against the Bengals. And I'm not trying to be a homer, but the Bengals are essentially returning their entire team. They're just getting better on the only changes they really made are on their offensive line, which was the worst in the NFL. So they're returning for the most part their core, and Pittsburgh is still trying to figure out these new pieces, their offensive line, their quarterback. How is his connection with the wideouts? And even with George Pickens, he's still a new guy out there. What is Claypool's role? Is Claypool going to be upset if this new wide receiver comes in and absolutely blast him? So I just think that it stinks for the Steelers to have to come in week 1 against a team that, stuck together. I would say the same thing if they were playing the Buccaneers or somebody like that, that's just stuck together. You'd like to be playing against a team like the 49ers, a team that is good, but they still have their own things to figure out, not a team that has essentially stayed together from.
I'm also excited for Cincinnati to see what OJ Howard does.
Well, OJ Howard's not officially signed. He's actually on a visit with the Texans, and it's rumored that the Bengals are going to be A-OK with their pickup of Devin Asasi from the Patriots because he got cut. Yeah, so yeah, upsetting a little bit. I was really excited for OJ. Moving on,
I really wanted OJ Howard there because I think OJ Howard's a stud.
Yeah, OJ Howard.
And somebody might have picked him up in a fantasy league. I'm not saying who, but.
So moving on, we got the Indianapolis Colts on the road to play the Houston Texans. Fred, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upset of the week here, man. Indianapolis. I'm pretty sure they're picked to win the division. If not, they probably should be because that team is absolutely gross. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Matt Ryan, a quarterback, they have a gorgeous defense, probably one of the best defenses in the league. Great offensive line, but I do like the Texans, man. I feel like they're a little bit disrespected. All right. They got Brandon Cooks. I think Davis Mills is a decent quarterback, and I love the rookie at running back. So, I mean, they got some pieces, and I think they just sneak out a victory for my upset of the week.
I would side with you, but I can't. The Colts have been simmering. I don't know if it's the right word, but simmering on last year. They were bona fide in the playoffs, should have made the playoffs. Everybody was like, oh, you don't want to play the Colts. And the Jaguars were like, well, guess what? You don't have to worry.
They were Steeler fans that week because, we needed the Jags to beat them. And
the Jags were like, hey, you know what? Nobody's going to have to worry about it because we'll take them out of the playoffs. Last game of the year,
Jags fan.
One of the worst teams, the worst team in the NFL takes you out to take you out of the playoffs. They've been simmering on that. They got a new quarterback, a lot of energy. On the road is really my only concern, but I'm not concerned. I think the Colts roll. I don't think it's very, very pretty either. So I got Colts going strong. Moving on to yet.
Texans make more noise than people think, though.
Oh, a little hot take with Fred. Is that your hot take for the year?
No, they get hotter. But,
got more hot takes.
I think they win this week.
So moving on, we got another solid 1:00 game. The Patriots on the road to play the Dolphins. The Dolphins obviously acquiring Tyreek Hill this offseason. I'll just go ahead and say I think the Dolphins win despite me not being very high on them. I just think the Patriots are awful. Like, I don't think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be terrible. I think that their play calling this year is going to be one of the worst we've ever seen. Like, they don't even have do they even have an offensive coordinator? Like, what in the world is going on in New England? I just think that, the players today in Miami voted to a captain, and whether that might be small or whether that might be large, I think it's them showing like, hey, we're buying into you as our quarterback, regardless of what everybody says. And so I really get behind like that type of culture of like, that's our guy, regardless of what everybody says. I like the Dolphins. I hate their upper management for the most part. And I didn't necessarily love the Tyreek Hill move, but it's flashy. It's cool. It's whatever. But I think that the Dolphins are just better than the Patriots.
Right. So you're going Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Miami as well, man. I agree with you. I don't think New England's going to be that good this year. I still have a lot of question marks with Mac Jones. Damian Harris at running back. They got Ramon Stevenson or whatever his name is. And
yeah,
just a lot of just question marks and just average NFL guys. And Miami, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Mike Gesicki, he's a great tight end. So, I mean, they've got a great offense. Will their defense match it? We'll have to see. But I think Miami is going to make a lot of noise this year in the AFC East. So I'm super excited to see. Not sold on Tua, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
Yeah, we'll see. Moving on to another AFC North team, the Ravens on the road to play the Jets. I know it's one of Fred's favorite teams coming into the year, the Jets, Jets. What do you think of this game? And give me your thoughts here.
Joe Flacco, man.
Another revenge game.
No, I think Baltimore blows them out of the water. I think them losing Zach Wilson's going to kill their season. I mean, you lost your starting quarterback. It's going to be hard to replace. Lamar, I just don't think he has a lot of weapons, outside of Mark Andrews. I don't know how that's going to play out. I think Lamar's going to run for his life this year. Hopefully they get J.K. Dobbins back in a timely manner. But their defense is still elite. So I think Baltimore wins this game. Don't think they have as good a season as they're probably accustomed to these last couple of years. I don't love the Kyle Hamilton pick in the draft. I don't think he's that good of a safety. I think he's just a good athlete. I'd like to see what they do with him, maybe move him inside the box. I don't know. But I do have Baltimore just beating the Jets because the lack of quarterback play and just really young throughout the whole roster.
Yeah, I also have the Ravens. Kind of the same thing you said. Not much to be said. Not to mention, their running back room just got stronger, adding Kenyon Drake. Whenever Gus Edwards, JK, and Kenyon and Lamar are all healthy, like that is seriously like insane when you think about it. Like that's just nuts. But yeah, moving on. Not much to talk about in that game. Moving on. These are two, I believe, of mine and your like surprise teams this year. The Jaguars on the road to play the Commanders. I, for one, am super high on the Jags. I have the Jags winning this one. I think they come out extremely strong this year. They spent a ton of money this offseason, and I think they just get the job done against a Commander team that has Carson Wentz as their quarterback and Ron Rivera and the boys. I'm just not really bought into the Commanders. I don't think Ron Rivera is going to be a coach for too much longer, and I hate saying that because of everything he's been through. Such a great guy in general, but I just don't think he's built for this era of football, especially with a guy like Carson Wentz under center. And all that inside drama with Brian Robinson getting shot. Like, there's so much going on in Washington that I just can't get behind. And it's really just that can be gut-wrenching whenever you have, one of your own get, come that close to death or whatever the case may be. So prayers in that sense. But I have the Jaguars winning the game. Fred, what are your thoughts?
I think the Commanders they're one of my sneaky teams because of their defense. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Jamin Davis, Chase Young. Cameron Curl, guys like that. William Jackson's in that secondary. I think their defense is going to surprise a lot. Well, not even surprise a lot of people. I mean, they just draft the defense like every year, and they're just all becoming, veterans in the NFL. They're quality players. But I'm going to go with the Jags here, man. I think Trevor Lawrence proves why he's the number one pick. I think he got himself a couple of weapons. Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, guys like that. I just think make a difference. Travis Etienne coming back from injury. And also their defense is really good. I mean, they went defense with the number one pick with Trayvon Walker, got Devin Lloyd later in the first round. Foye Oluwakon's good out as another outside linebacker. And, of course, the best Josh Allen in the league coming off the edge. So I think they're going to make a lot of noise. And I'm excited to see what the Jags team can do. I mean, a sneaky team to win the AFC South? Question mark.
Wow. I think they have a great year. I just think, like you said, they got a guy like Christian Kirk who isn't going to, be, the name brand guy that you would want, like a Tyreek Hill or something like that. But he still is a very, very quality wide receiver to have in that room.
Yeah.
When he's out there, man, big things happen. And I love him with Trevor Lawrence's huge, huge arm. And, of course, Travis Etienne rolling back. You know how much I love that fellow. Yeah. We both love that fellow. So moving on, Fred, it's the Giants on the road to play the Titans. The Titans, sadly, today lost Harold Landry to the third for the year. Completely tore his ACL at practice. So that stinks. One of the best edge rushers, up-and-coming edge rushers in the game. Fred, what are your thoughts on this one? A lot of question marks on both sides, honestly.
I hate both these teams. I don't think either of these teams are going to have good years. I think Giants are just happen to be worse. Too many question marks with Daniel Jones. Their defense is lackluster. But, I mean, you go on the Titans side, I mean, outside of Derrick Henry, where are they going to look at for offense? They went Treylon Burks, which is a cool pick. I just think he's too raw to really have any significant production year one. So, and losing a guy like Harold Landry, who's a very solid pass rusher.
Crushing,
very crushing. I mean, I think their defense is decent even, outside of him. But I think the Titans win this game just because the Giants just have way too many question marks. And especially when you have a guy like Daniel Jones under center, you're going to be worried.
Are you ready? This is my upset of the week. I got the Giants winning the game. I got Brian Dable showing his creativity in multiple ways. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be perfect because, like you've already said, the Titans' defense is actually pretty solid. They have an okay secondary. They're not very good across the linebacking core, and now losing Harold Landry, that absolutely stinks. But the Giants offensively, I think they're going to have a lot of fun with Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Saquon Barkley is going to have a
wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a huge year. I just love the weapons with, that the Giants have been able to just bring together. Now, obviously, a lot of them have their own question marks with Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton, the one kid Shepard. I forget his first name off the top of my head. Sterling Shepard. Like they have a good core there. And now I just think that they have the right coach now, and they have there's some offensive line questions, but they've addressed those, okay. I just think they get the job done here. I think it's the Titans are going to start really, really bad this year. I'm not on the Titans train. I am very much off of it, and I am hammering all their unders. I don't think they're a very good football team. I am rocking my upset of the week, the Giants. Moving on, what could easily be one of the games of the week. Now, it's not mine, it's not yours, but the Chiefs on the road to play the Arizona Cardinals. One of the best. I think this is a really, really solid 4:00 slate. But what are your thoughts on this one? The Chiefs' first game without Tyreek Hill this year, on the road to play the Cardinals.
I mean, Chiefs, you got Patrick Mahomes. Their big question mark is the playmakers. I mean, you got Juju, you got McCole Hardman, but I mean, are those guys going to win you a Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean, you got Travis Kelce in a great offensive line and a great defense. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, really nothing else to say there.
Yeah.
And then you go over to Arizona. I'm still not sold on Kyler, especially without his top weapon being there for the first 6 weeks. Without DeAndre Hopkins, it's going to be tough. So I'm going to go Kansas City here. I'm very, very intrigued to see how Juju and those playmakers do anything. So without Tyreek there, we'll see how Patty goes. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I think that these are, the Cardinals are without D-Hop, the Chiefs are without Tyreek. So it's kind of like they're both going to be trying to figure out their offense. But I just think the Chiefs, you have the quarterback advantage. I'm going to rock with you. Moving on, the Raiders on the road to the Chargers. I'm going to steal this one. I think the Chargers win. I think that this is one of their first steps towards winning that division. I think that they do a really, really good job this year, impose their will, and 100% move on to be, not only one of the best teams in the AFC, one of the best teams in the league, and become a force to be reckoned with, maybe top 2 seed in the AFC. I think that it's their time to go. And if this isn't the year, I don't know what year it's going to be. They have fortified their defense. They've done a really, really good job with some big name, bringing in big names, drafting really well, doing a great job developing. Their offense is just accumulating weapons. So they've done a really, really good job. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, I think they definitely got better. I mean, they drafted Zion Johnson, which I thought was a home run pick at guard, which they needed to solidify. Austin Eckler's great. I mean, you got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack coming off the edge. I think the Chargers take this game. Can't wait to see what Devontae does with Carr. And I think the Raiders are going to be good and compete, but I just don't think they can keep up with the Los Angeles Chargers, who's probably an early Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, I completely agree. We could talk about the Chargers forever if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
They're just a really fun team, exciting. Cannot wait till we get a couple games deep so we can have a little bit more of a breakdown sample size.
Some stats to go off of and stuff.
Yeah. But here we are. The next one's actually my game of the week. It's the Packers on the road to play the Vikings. Now, you might be saying, why in the world is that your game of the week? I think this is a huge game. I think that this could be a turning of the guard for the NFC, like for that division, for the conference. Like, the Packers could come out here and lay an absolute egg and the Vikings dominate, and the talk of the town would be a lot of what last year's was after week 1, whenever A-Rod threw up a dud, I think against the Buccaneers. But I could see not that exact thing happening, but A-Rod being very frustrated. The camera's going right to him, and he's just upset with what is happening. Outside of their running back room, they really don't have a unit that is good. You look, their tackle, David Beckentari or whatever his name is, he's coming off of like 5,000 different injuries, hasn't played in 10 years, it feels like. And then A-Rod, older quarterback with a really young receiving room outside of Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins. Like, what is this team? Like, are they really going to be a defensive juggernaut? Is that what's going to get them by? So I'm going to roll with the Vikings here. I could see the Packers inking one out, but I think that this is going to be a really, really interesting game to keep an eye on of something that you could see a lot of this year, and that's A-Rod being extremely, extremely frustrated. Fred?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the Packers have way too many question marks on offense. I mean, you have a back-to-back MVP, but Allen Lazard, wide receiver 1. I like Allen Lazard. I think he's a huge target, but he's more of just a red zone threat. Maybe he takes that step forward. I know Robert Tunnion's coming off a major injury. I mean, their running back room's great. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon is a 1-2 punch. Even Kylan Hill, can make some noise as a pass catcher. But I really like Minnesota this year. I think they finally, for the love of God, take a step forward and win that division. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins.
He's going to be Kirk
Cousins. Out of him. Yeah. But, I mean, you got Justin Jefferson, top 5 receiver in the league. You got Adam Thielen, who's aging, but still a quality receiver. You got Dalvin Cook, one of the best backs in the league.
Say his name.
KJ Osborne?
No. They just acquired him.
What is he, a TCU guy? Oh, yeah. Okay. There's nothing to say about him. He's a bust. So, yeah. He is. What are you talking about?
He's not great. I just love the guy. Great guy.
So I'm going with the team that we both thought was going to win that division. I'm going Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I completely agree. But a great game. Cannot wait to watch it. It'll be on Fox for those of you that want to know.
Can't believe how close away we are from week 1.
It's so exciting. It's so
great.
So moving on, Sunday Night Football week 1. We see the surgery face Tom Brady. Looks like he stepped away from football and got his face queued up a little bit. Ready for his time in the booth, it looks like. Hey, but yeah, the Buccaneers on the road to play the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, they lost their left tackle. It's really been a poor summer for the Cowboys. They traded Amari Cooper for a bag of chips. The Eagles were able to get more for Jalen Reagor than the Cowboys got for Amari Cooper. So it's really, really interesting there. What are the Cowboys? Fred, what are your thoughts on this game?
I think the Cowboys, I think there could be a defensive team this year, which is kind of weird to say, but their wide receiver room outside of CD is just kind of strange to me.
Yeah.
I like Michael Gallup. I think they had that kid
Coming
from
off
South
injury, though.
Alabama. They have a kid, that rookie from South Alabama is a wide receiver 3. And I think, dude, the Buccaneers, dude, are just, everybody talks about their offense, but Jesus Christ, that defense, man. Vita Vea, Devin White, Levante Davis, Shaq Barrett, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Antoine Winfield Jr., Mike Edwards, Kentucky Great, like Carlton Davis. Like, they have so many pieces on defense. And we're not even talking about Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, their offensive line. I mean, they hit on Tristan Wirfs, like Shaq Mason's there now, Ryan Jensen, who is out for the year, which kind of, stinks, but or significant amount of time. I don't know if he's out the whole year.
I think he's out for the year.
Okay.
I think there's slight hope, but
dude, Tampa Bay is just so good. And I think the Cowboys, did they get better? I don't know. I mean, they have Micah Parsons, who's already a top linebacker in the league, but my God, I don't know. And what kind of Dak are we going to get? I don't know. But I'm going Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay, and I think they're going to dominate them. Dominate the league again. I think they come out of the NFC.
I have, I guess, a hot take. I think the Cowboys win week 1. I think that the Cowboys come out there, throw a really, really hefty right hook. I just have a hard time believing Tom Brady is 100% all in right now. I've never seen the guy take a step away from the game of football. And granted, he's 45, whatever he wants to say at a press conference, like he's 45, has obligations, yada, yada, yada. Tom Brady would never step away from the game of football. The Tom Brady that me and you have grown up around and grown up watching, I don't think he's ever done anything outside of football. Like maybe a few things here, a few things there, some modeling stuff with his wife, whatever the case may be. But like just to randomly disappear for 12, 15 days right before training camp, like during preseason football, like that's just so strange to me. Yes, he's still going to be elite. He's Tom freaking Brady. Like the Buccaneers, I'm not going to say they're going to lose week 1 and then go 0-17. Like they are going to be in the NFC Championship game, in my opinion. I just think week 1, they get punched in the mouth. Dak's probably really, really ready to go. He's hearing all this noise. I think they throw a mean right hook. They win week 1. Their owner, Jerry Jones, goes on a huge media tour for a week, acts like they just won the Super Bowl, and then they come back down to earth and don't maybe not even win their own division. But I think week 1 they throw a mean right hook. All right, moving on. Monday Night Football. Maybe.
Did we miss a game?
Yeah, I know. Are the Eagles on there? I was just thinking.
Eagles Lions.
When is that?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Eagles versus.
I was like, wait.
Lions.
The Eagles might win that division. Wait, have we talked about the Eagles?
I know. That's what I literally was just thinking too. All right, Eagles Lions. Sorry, I missed that one. Not sure how I did, but who you got, Fred?
Dude, I've fallen in love with this Detroit Lions team because of the HBO Hard Knocks, because I love Dan Campbell, and I think that team's a lot of fun on camera. Jared Goff looks pretty good.
I love
Jared Goff. But I think the Eagles are too much. I think they win that game. And Jalen Hurts, I hope, takes that step forward. Devontae Smith, got A.J. Brown in. Miles Sanders, I still think needs to do more. They just got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in there, who's a very elite, defensive back, along with already a good defense. So I think Philadelphia, man, I think they win that division this year. I don't know what I said in the NFL, because did we say the Cowboys are going to win that division or Philadelphia? I can't remember.
I think we both said Cowboys.
Well, I think, after these moves they've made, it's going to be tough to put Philadelphia away. And I think Detroit takes a step forward. I think they hit tremendously in the draft with Aiden Hutchinson. He looks like already a stud. And once Jameson Williams comes back, I think they're going to be great with Amon-Ra St. Brown and even DJ Chark. So they're going to be good, but I do think Philadelphia takes it week 1.
Real quick, breaking news. O.J. Howard does sign with the Texans. So new weapon in Houston. So interesting there. Probably
Does he play week 1?
I would assume, and I'm assuming he's going to be tight end 1 for the Houston Texans. Anyway,
sure.
Moving on, I have the Eagles as well. Not too much to add there. Broncos on the road, Monday Night Football, another revenge game. Russell Wilson, let's ride. Stepping right into his formal home in Seattle and goes toe-to-toe with the team that made him relevant, with the team that made him who he is today. And, he nearly won a Super Bowl with. Did he win a Super Bowl? I can't remember, but yeah, he won a Super Bowl. He was close to winning another one. Hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch. He maybe has another one. But, Russell Wilson is what he is. The Seahawks are what they are. And I got the Broncos winning easily. Fred, what is your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think Seattle's bad. I think Geno Smith's
bad.
probably going to start. But, I mean, they have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, but out Jamal Adams on defense. But, yeah, the Broncos are too much. Jerry Jeudy, freaking what's-his-face at receiver. Portland Sutton's great. SMU. So, yeah, I think Denver's a lot. And I think them getting Russell Wilson was an incredible pickup. Obviously, they extended him today. So,
huge.
Shouts out to the Broncos, man.
Shouts out to the Denver Broncos not only making that trade, but getting that extension done. And also shouts out because a guy like me who knows we're about to sign Joe Burrow to a massive extension next summer, thank you for letting this come out because honestly, not that crazy of a deal. Yes, it's huge, $49 million a year, but I think that if we can strike Joe Burrow in that $40 to $45 million range, give me all.
Y'all gonna have some boys to pay here coming up.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, yes, that is the entire NFL slate. Me and Fred just dove right into. Cannot wait, like we said, to actually have statistics to base off of. So we head right into
the NFL schedulers because of how many, Panthers, Browns, Russell coming back. Like it's gonna be some cool stuff.
The NFL does it right. Just know that. If there's a quarterback traded week 1, it's he's there. Like
yeah.
NFL does it right. That's why they rule all, kind of what we said earlier in the video. But now to, I think, a part of the show where Fred has dominated. And I don't think.
Yeah, week 1 you might get me, but go ahead.
So NFL week 1 fantasy breakout of the week.
You should listen to me, though, because I hit on a lot last year.
Fred, what is yours?
I went with the tight end from the Houston Texans, Brevin Jordan. Hopefully OJ Howard takes a couple weeks to learn the playbook. Rostered by 1.9% of teams in ESPN fantasy football. Brevin Jordan's a second-year pro out of Miami, Miami, Florida.
No wonder you were like, is OJ Howard gonna be playing?
He's super athletic. He's a great-looking kid too. My God. He's got a great smile. But yeah, Brevin Jordan's a super athlete. I still think he's going to make a lot of plays for Houston this year. He's, like I said, he's probably one of the fastest tight ends in the league. And I think as Davis Mills continues to progress, I think a tight end's, a weapon that, young quarterbacks need to lean on. And I think Brevin Jordan can be that guy. And I think OJ Howard, in all seriousness, coming in will probably be a great guy to learn under, a super athletic tight end. So I'm really excited to see what Brevin Jordan can do this year. Of course, he's only owned by less than 2% of the ESPN league. So if you're looking for a flyer tight end, I just personally picked him up and dropped OJ Howard. So yeah, shouts out Brevin Jordan, and I can't wait to see what he can do. What about you, Troy? Who are you going with?
Mine, he's picked up in quite a bit of leagues. He's 10.1%. But he has risen over the last 48 hours of 5.2%. So he has grown exponentially in just the last 48 hours for whatever reason. But it's Isaiah McKenzie, plays for the Buffalo Bills.
Georgia.
Little slot guy, quick, explosive. Bills starting slot wide receiver. I know a lot of people are like, dude, that's Jamison Crowder, you idiot. No, it's not.
Whoa.
No, it's not.
Ooh, hey.
It's not going to be Jamison Crowder. Just trust me on this. He's getting overshadowed, of course, by Gabriel Davis, the hype train for Gabriel Davis, as it should be, wide receiver 2 through and through. But let's not forget about McKenzie, an explosive player. Isaiah McKenzie, he's questionable. He was hurt in practice.
Yeah, he got hurt practice.
I'll maybe have a backup plan just in case that I can kind of.
Yeah, same.
But Diggs versus Ramsey, I think that a lot of attention is going to go to their top 2 guys. And Isaiah McKenzie, if healthy, will see a nice, sizable, just target share and just really, really do well in his reps. Because Josh Allen, I don't know if you guys have forgotten, dude's got a cannon. So he's
second best Josh Allen in the league for sure, but he's good. He's good.
He's really, really good. So Isaiah McKenzie versus Brevin Jordan.
Is this our first tight end though? Is this the first tight end that's been?
I think it might be.
Because you were like saying like, yeah, why does he run back? Oh, and tight end if you want to go. And I was like, yeah.
You want to be weird? That's yeah. And
like Brevin,
always with the hot takes. Always with the hot takes. Always being weird is the guy Fred. But dude, I'm just so excited for football season. I mean, this
man.
video, it brings back a lot of memories of just what we've done over the last 2 years. We've never done a full NFL season. So this could be the first. This is our first time doing week 1. So let's go. Super excited. Fred,
Hey,
you got
good
any
luck this
closing-
year for Cincinnati, man. Best of luck. You
Yeah.
know, you're
Good
obviously
luck to
a Bengals
Pitt.
fan. I'm a Steelers fan. You know, we got a new
Good luck
we-
to Litzberg.
15 straight winning seasons. Let's make it 16.
Let's make it 16.
Hey, Trubisky, answer my DM. I sent you
Nothing.
one.
Yeah, nothing but love, except for when we're playing each other. Cannot wait for the NFL season. Fred, as always, I love you, bro. Get us out of here.
Love you too, brother. Hey, man, thank you guys so much for tuning into the NFL portion of the X Factor Sports Talk, and we are so excited for yet another great NFL season. Let's see what can happen, see what guys emerge, and what guys fall into the depths and pits of hell. But thank you guys again so much. Don't be a star. Do not be a superstar. Change the flipping game. Be an X Factor. We'll see you guys next time. Go Steelers. Steel City. Stand up. We love you guys. God bless. Peace out.
See ya.